Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
This is a bunch of idiots who are following them. No care when you go long, me not afraid that you couldn't have every bomb where they making in the world. So, me will tell you no anything come out my mouth. If you know where good for you, turn these dirty thinking drive them either in the sea, or you drive them go about in the business, or you call the army and tell them say, miss, me name Steve from my wicker. I mean, there are Hellshire on the beach, and no boy can take me off of this until me ready to go home. So if you don't know what for, wrap up them and just go about the business. Some arts have to work over your stuff analysis, and that's thinking stage tonight until me make better stage than work on. We don't call on the Prime Minister and tell him, say, Mr. Him cannot take me off our private beach. We don't think so fool and not dealing. We don't can't deal with poor people. So I am not a poor man. So no boy can't tell me nothing. So if you know what phone, just turn and go on the yard. With a Hellshire. That them we're gonna come out to the business. Tear down and nasty. We're gonna come out to the business. You can't be there.
Be there, man. Be there.
I shoot shoot me. But if you bad, just shoot me. 1 ounce. It cannot be none. Me iron and bombard still. A boy if you know that. So tell the Prime Minister say, me, take me over here so. If he have sense in come sit down and read with him and teach him like a logic for to run country. When you come here like germs, if I don't thinking when I'm going to drive on, I want to run come over here. You think I hear that when I come to? When you never hear me over here? When you think say 1, 2, 3, the whole, every 2 over camp can take me off of it. Not one, can't take me off of it. Me get to know anybody in the world because this belongs to the Almighty. It belongs to no Prime Minister, no President, no priest, no boy in the world, no Bill Gates, no Putin, no boy can't that's what you know. So the pass on the left. I don't know if you know what to create a problem. Because we're
not going to create a problem, we're not create a problem, we're not done. We're not run people off of the Almighty beach. How do you run people off of the beach of the Almighty? Eh? Oh, you push, oh, mind yourself, man. Mind yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't touch yourself. We're not touching you neither, you know. Don't touch your body here, sir.
Your number.
Go on, do on your jeep and go on, man. You push your man, boss.
That you the body owner.
Understand yourself. Don't do no stupidness.
No boy with no man son if you can't bad me. Because me, no here, man.
You're in a problem later. Later you're in a problem. No rest.
Mind yourself. That's what I tell you. Behave a little self.
You see the fact that you have a man black thinking, man. You have a man that is a coward. No coward.
No believe in the Almighty again. We don't believe in a coronavirus. Look how weak you are.
Eh? My master if you are big gun. That is afraid no boy no master if you can't give me no talk. And that's what you know. Go out to the business.
Take off the mask and come back.
Go call the army and them want come. Tell
Andrew Holiness we want him over here if he sit down and talk.
Lick me down, that's what you do. Lick me down. I think on the girl this time when I get licked down. This is now than dance thinking boy in a car and how you know that? You know, go out to the business, that's all no good to do. Go in the sea with that, that's what you do no good for you.
Mine no man. Mine what I do?
See with that, I'm a John and a thinking self on the sun I did already. Next 2 years already anyway. So go on to the sea, got 10. Come on. I just saw them people come to slave you down there. Try people, lock people and come here. What do you think when they can't tell me nothing? Germs!
Cut! Boy! And don't come back. When you don't come back, simple.
Nigga! Lift up! Me too!
Unruly man who scolded cops at Hellshire to be arrested. A man who insisted on breaching COVID-19 protocols and berated police officers in an expletive-laden tirade at the Hellshire beach in St. Catherine over the weekend is expected to be arrested. Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force Corporate Communications Unit, said the man will be arrested on Monday. He will be prosecuted, Lindsay stated. In order to de-escalate the situation, the police officers left, but they warned him for prosecution. We know where he is on the Hellshire beach. However, in order not to create a more explosive situation, they didn't arrest him at the same time, Lindsay added. The beaches are closed, but people are blatantly refusing to comply, so we have to do what we have to do. The maskless man's 4-minute rant, in which not even Prime Minister Andrew Holness was spared from being subjected to a tongue lashing, was captured on video and has gone viral on social media. The incident has sent shockwaves throughout a nation grappling with the current spike in coronavirus cases that has resulted in normal life being disrupted for almost a year. Interestingly, the video did not showcase the alarming and blatant disregard of COVID rules caused on the heels of Sunday's impassioned plea by Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton to let the record COVID-19 positive cases sink in. But the man who, by his own volition, identified himself as Stephen Mike Whittle, seemingly had no care for the increasing spike in COVID-19 cases that has brought intense pressure to the health system, especially at hospitals. While in the presence of more than 10 people who wore no mask and with music blaring in the background, Whittle said he had no fear of the 2 motor vehicles with the police officers. In an aggressive tone, he instructed them to leave Hellshire Beach. No care how uno gone long, me no afraid. Uno coulda have every bomb where they make inna the world they so. Me we tell uno anything will come on me mouth, the man declared. If uno know we're good for uno, turn these dirty stinking jeep and drive them in the sea, or uno drive them go about uno business, or uno call the army and tell them say, me name Stephen Mike Whittle, and me dey a hell chop on the beach, and no boy can't take me off of this until me ready to go home, Whittle shouted at the officers. The 4 police officers were evidently calm and continued to look on and observe the man's erratic behavior. Pointing to a stage on the beach, Whittle revealed that some artists were to perform there that night, another clear intention to breach the island's COVID-19 protocols. All entertainment events have been banned and the island curfew is now 8 p.m. according to measures outlined by the government. But the man seemingly did not care for the rules. Uno is a bunch of idiots where I follow the rules, he said. He further shouted, Uno call Uno Prime Minister and tell him, me say, him cannot take me off a private beach. Uno think a fool una deal with? Uno can't deal with poor people so. I am not a poor man, so no boy can tell me nothing. So if uno know we're good for uno, turn and go on uno yard. One of the cops then proceeded to video Whittle's behavior with a cell phone. Uno can video, Whittle said. Adding, I shoot uno fi shoot me if uno bad, me iron and steel. He reiterated his instruction for the lawmen to contact Prime Minister Andrew Holness so me can sit down and reason with him and teach him some logics about how to run the country. Whittle would not relent from rebuking the officers, describing them as germs. Uno come like germs. Look pan the little dirty thinking road where Holness give uno fi drive pan, and uno run come over here. Uno never hear say a me over here so. Uno think say a 1, 2, 3 police or every soldier over camp can't take me off of this? Not one of uno can't take me off. This beach belong to the Almighty. It no belong to no Prime Minister, no President, no priest, no boy in the world, the defiant Whittle screamed at the top of his voice. One of the police officers then turned to another man recording the incident, asking him, what is the problem? The videographer responded, we not create no problem. We no come to create problem. Uno a create the problem in Odan. Uno a run people off of the beach, Almighty Beach. Another man videoing with what appeared to be a camera then proceeded to record the police officer questioning them, but the officer pushed him out of the way. Mind yourself, man, another videographer urged the cop, adding, don't do that, don't touch nobody here so, go on in your jeep and go on. Whittle then intervened and suggested that no man in no mask can bad we up because we no wear mask. The officer then told the man recording the incident that he will be in problems later. Another officer, with his gun in hand, then intervened and called away his colleague in the firing line to go towards the police vehicle. Said the videographer, none of we no believe in the Almighty again, we no believe in a corona, look how weak you are. Whittle then added to the line of the argument that, look all pan uno with big gun, no boy in a no mask can give me no talk, a day uno fi know. Go about uno business, go call the army. At this point, the officers proceeded to leave the beach, with Witter and other men counting to verbal lashing them. The two police vehicles eventually drove away. "Uno, don't come back," a man shouts. The police have been calling for changes to the Disaster Risk Management Act to allow the lawmen to be given greater powers of arrest. The government has indicated that they are working towards implementing a ticket system. Last month, Holness said the draft of the legislation was complete and would be brought to Parliament soon. 878 new COVID cases, another record high for Jamaica's daily count. Jamaica's coronavirus cases remain at record highs as the island logs 878 new COVID-19 infections on Sunday. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton made the announcement on social media Monday morning. It was the third consecutive day that the country logged record new infections, following 723 cases on Saturday and 527 the day before. The breakdown of Sunday cases was not posted to the Ministry of Health website up to time of publication. Race-Title-Anguish, Meghan and Harry explain royal rift. In a wide-ranging interview aired Sunday, Harry and Meghan described painful palace discussions about the color of their son's skin, losing royal protection, and the intense pressures that led the Duchess of Sussex to contemplate suicide. The interview with Oprah Winfrey was the couple's first since they stepped down from royal duties, and the 2-hour special included numerous revelations likely to reverberate on both sides of the Atlantic. Harry told Winfrey that he felt trapped by royal life and was surprised that he was cut off financially and lost his security last year. He also said he felt his family did not support Meghan, acknowledge her naivete about royal life before marrying Harry, as she endured tabloid attacks and false stories. Meghan, who is biracial, described that when she was first pregnant with son Archie, there were concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he was born. That statement led Oprah to incredulously ask, "What?" While Oprah sat in silence, Meghan said she struggled to understand why there were concerns within the royal family about her son's skin color. She said it was hard for her to compartmentalize those conversations. Meghan, the actor formerly known as Meghan Markle, who starred in the TV drama Suits, said she grew concerned about her son not having a royal title because it meant he wouldn't be provided security. Meghan said processing everything during her pregnancy was very hard. More than the prince title, she felt the most troubled about her son's safety and protection. "He needs to be safe," a teary-eyed Meghan recalled. "We're not saying don't make him a prince or princess, whatever it's going to be. But if you're saying the title is going to affect their protection, we haven't created this monster machine around us in terms of clickbait and tabloid fodder. You've allowed that to happen, which means our son needs to be safe." The interview was broadcast in the United States a full day before it was aired in Britain. The revelations aren't over. Oprah teased unaired bits of the interview would be shown Monday morning on CBS. In a rare positive moment in the interview, Harry and Meghan reveal their second would be a girl. The interview opened with Oprah gushing over Meghan's pregnancy and lamenting that COVID-19 protocols kept them from hugging. Oprah, at various points in the interview, ran through headlines about Meghan and at one point asked about the mental health impact. Meghan responded that she experienced suicidal thoughts and had sought help through the Palace Human Resources Department, but was told there was nothing they could do. "I was really ashamed to say it at the time and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially because I know how much loss he suffered," she added. "But I knew that if I didn't say it, that I would do it, and I just didn't. I just didn't want to be alive anymore." Harry, too, said there are lasting impacts about Meghan's treatment and his relationship with his family. "There is a lot to work through there," Harry said about his relationship with his father. I feel really let down. He's been through something similar. He knows what pains feel like, and Archie is his grandson. I will always love him, but there is a lot of hurt that has happened. Harry said the royal family cut him off financially at the start of 2020 after announcing plans to step back from his roles. But he was able to afford security for his family because of the money his mother, Princess Diana, left behind. In response to a question from Oprah, Harry said he wouldn't have left royal life if not for his wife. He said their relationship revealed the strictures of royal life. I wouldn't have been able to because I myself was trapped, Harry said. I didn't see a way out. I was trapped, but I didn't know I was trapped. Harry said before adding, my father and my brother, they are trapped. Harry acknowledged that he does not have a close relationship presently with his brother William, who is heir to the throne after their father, Prince Charles. Harry disputed rumors that he intentionally blindsided his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, with his decision to split. He suspects the rumors came from the institution. I've never blindsided my grandmother, he said. I have too much respect for her. Meghan, too, was complimentary toward the Queen, despite saying at one point she realized some in the palace were willing to lie to protect other members of the family. The Queen has always been wonderful to me, Meghan said. Sunday's interview special opened with Meghan describing how naive she was about the ground rules of royal life before she married her husband Harry, nearly 3 years ago. I didn't fully understand what the job was, she said. She also noted that she did not know how to courtesy before meeting Queen Elizabeth II for the first time and didn't realize it would be necessary. I will say I went into it naively because I didn't grow up knowing much about the royal family, Meghan said. It wasn't something that was part of conversations at home. It wasn't something that we followed. Meghan said she and Harry were aligned during their courtship because of their cause-driven work. But she did not fully comprehend the pressure of being linked to the prestigious royal family. There was no way to understand what the day-to-day was going to be like, she said, and it's so different because I didn't romanticize any element of it. The couple married at Windsor Castle in May 2018 and their son Archie was born a year later. Harry and Meghan's departure from royal duties began in March 2020 over what they described as the intrusion and racist attitudes of the British media towards the Duchess. At the top of the interview, Oprah said no topic was off limits and that Meghan and Harry were not being paid for the special. In Britain, the interview is seen as poorly timed. It will air while Harry's 99-year-old father Prince Philip remains hospitalized in London after undergoing a heart procedure. It is unclear what public reaction, if any, the Queen and other royal family members will have to Sunday's interview. The UK's Sunday Times newspaper, citing an anonymous source, reported that the Queen would not watch it. 9.4 million ganja seizure in Alligator Pond, Manchester. Detectives from the Area 3 Narcotics Police Team seized approximately 2,358 pounds of compressed ganja during a joint police-military operation along the South Coast Road in Alligator Pond area of Manchester on Saturday, March 6. Reports are that about 5:30 p.m., lawmen were in the area when a section of the coastline was searched and 45 knitted bags and 3 buckets containing compressed ganja weighing approximately 2,358 pounds were found and seized. The illicit drug has been estimated at street value of 9.4 million. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. 44-year-old woman charged with shop breaking and larceny. 44-year-old Tisha Hawaii, otherwise called Trisha, of King Street, Port Antonio in Portland, has been arrested and charged with shop breaking and larceny following an incident on Wednesday, March 3rd. Reports are that about 8 p.m., the complainant securely locked up his shop and went to bed. About 3 a.m., he was awoken by a friend who lives with him and was told that a man and a woman were seen leaving his shop with a black bag. The complainant made an alarm, and shortly after, a female was seen in Johnstown area carrying a black traveling bag with several items in it. Checks were made, and the exact items that were taken from the shop were reportedly found in the bag. The matter was reported to the police, and Trisha was subsequently arrested and charged. Her court date is being finalized. Another man charged with Chinese businessman's murder killed. Another man who was charged with the murder of a Chinese businessman in Brownstown, St. Anne 3 years ago, was shot dead in Enfield in Brownstown on Saturday. He is the second accused in relation to the murder to be killed within the last 2 weeks, leaving 3 defendants to answer to the 2018 murder case. The latest deceased has been identified as 60-year-old Raymond Emmanuel, a taxi operator of Philadelphia District, St. Anne. Reports are that sometime after 12 p.m., Emmanuel drove to a section of an area to fill water at a standpipe. Shortly after, residents heard loud explosions coming from the area and summoned the police. On the arrival of law enforcers, Emmanuel was seen suffering from gunshot wounds. He was assisted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police are yet to identify a motive for the gun attack. Emmanuel, who was on bail at the time of his death, was one of 5 men who were charged with the shooting death of a Chinese businessman. The 28-year-old businessman was reportedly shot in the head while he sat in his vehicle at his business place in Brownstown at about 3:45 p.m. on Tuesday, February 27, 2018. Interestingly, another accused, 52-year-old Liebert Piper, a vendor of Philadelphia District in St. Anne, was shot dead in his community on Saturday, February 20 of this year. No motive was established for his killing at the time. The other men who are charged with the Chinese businessman's murder are Tristan Morrison of Brownstown, Orlando Mott of Philadelphia District, and Vivian Campbell, a higgler of Bennett District, all in St. Anne. Investigators believe Morrison was the shooter when the businessman was killed, and Emmanuel was alleged to have transported the others, including Piper, on the day of the crime to commit a robbery. The police initially booked Mott, Campbell, and Piper for the murder on March 7, 2018. In April of that year, Morrison, the main suspect, was charged with murder, conspiracy to murder, and robbery after having allegedly fled the parish. He was held by the Manchester police in a targeted operation on April 6 at a house in Pike District, Christiana. The operation was in search of wanted men and migrant criminals. The final suspect to be held in late April that year was Emmanuel, who was also charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and robbery. The case is presently before the St. Anne Circuit Court. Double murder in Negril, Westmoreland. 2 of 4 men who came under attack by unknown gunmen in Negril, Westmoreland on Saturday morning died as a result of gunshot injuries they sustained. The identities of the deceased men have not yet been determined. Reports are that about 10 a.m., residents heard loud explosions coming from a section of red ground in Negril and summoned the police. Upon their arrival, the police found 4 men suffering from gunshot wounds and transported them to a hospital. 2 of the men were pronounced dead upon arrival, and the other 2 were admitted for treatment. The Negril police are investigating the incident. 59-year-old laborer shot dead in Westmoreland. The Westmoreland police are probing the killing of a 59-year-old laborer who was gunned down in his community on Saturday night. The deceased has been identified as Winston Williams, otherwise called Slyback, of Kings Valley District, Grange Hill in Westmoreland. Another man who was shot and injured in the incident has been hospitalized. Reports from the Grange Hill police are that about 7:30 p.m., both men were standing outside a shop when gunmen drove up on a motorcycle and opened fire, hitting Williams and the other man. Upon the arrival of the police who were summoned, both men were transported to a hospital where Williams was pronounced dead and the other man was admitted for treatment. No motive has yet been established for the killing. Jury trial suspended for St. Catherine Circuit. The Court Administration Division, CAD, has advised that effective Monday, March 8, jury trials for the St. Catherine Circuit will be suspended. As such, persons who were summoned for jury duty at the St. Catherine Circuit are not required to attend and have been discharged without any risk of penalty, said the CDA in a statement. It said matters which qualified as bench trials and matters in which the Crown and the defense agreed to a bench trial will proceed during the St. Catherine Circuit. Persons needing further information may contact the CAD at 876-754-8337 or visit its website at www.cad.gov. Shaw calls for CAC to help protect citizens from new SIM swap scam. With the reported emergence of a SIM swap scam in Jamaica, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Audley Shaw, has called on the Consumer Affairs Commission, CAC, to respond to the needs of persons who may be potential targets of the scammers. Shaw said this will help to have citizens better protected against the emerging SIM scam, also referred to as a SIM splitting, SIM jacking, SIM highjacking, and port out scamming. The SIM swap scam is a type of fraud that focuses on the moving of someone's phone account from their SIM card and one controlled by the criminals. Instances of the scam occurring in Jamaica were highlighted in the media earlier this month. In light of those cases, Shaw said that the CAC should move to respond to the emerging fraud scheme. I'm also tasking the CAC to control the market and ensure they are responsive to the needs of our consumers. In the same way, the government sets the regulatory framework for the growth of the industry. We must also earnestly protect our citizens, the minister implored. Despite the concerns, Shaw claimed that there is a system in place to prevent consumers from being affected by such scams. However, he did not provide details of the mechanism. I am told that there is a system in place to prevent consumers from being exposed to scams, and I am eager to learn how these systems have been working and, importantly, how they will be bolstered in the face of the new and emerging threat, he said. He also called for telecommunication providers to continue to protect customers from the emerging threats. Let me also impress upon our telecoms providers that it behoves them as well to also protect the very people they seek to sell their products to, Shaw stressed. HEART, Jamaica Library Service, partner for Salt Awareness Week. The HEART Foundation of Jamaica and the Jamaica Library Service, JLS, has partnered to host Salt Awareness Week 2021 under the theme More Flavor, Less Salt. The week-long activities, which will run from March 8 to 12, 2021, aim to engage the implantation of evidence-based interventions to reduce salt consumption in the population and to educate persons about hypertension and other dangers of consuming too much salt. The virtual event, which persons are encouraged to view via YouTube, will see presentations by nutritionist Melina Henry and Francine Mafu, among others, who will highlight the issue of the hidden salt in many processed products and the difficulties that consumers face to find lower salt options. Carleen Morris-Cook, Communications Officer at the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, says she hopes the activities will encourage persons to go back to making home-cooked meals more than they eat out. We want to encourage people to go back to making their own food. That way, they know exactly what they're consuming, mainly because you would be shocked to know just how much sodium is in the food you buy, Cook stated. It may not seem dangerous now, but hypertension is a serious issue. It is also a condition that can be avoided, and cutting back on salt is one of the most cost-effective ways to do so. This is what we're hoping to communicate, she added. According to Cook, it may seem as though the only way to add flavor to home-cooked meals is with a big pinch of salt, but there are many other ways to ensure your food has flavor. Meanwhile, persons are being encouraged to view the exhibition, which will be hosted at the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Library, The exhibition will provide further information on location and access to additional health resources. JLS, Director of Corporate Communications and Marketing, Candice Leverage, says the library service is pleased to collaborate on the initiative. We are quite pleased to be partnering with the Heart Foundation for Salt Awareness Week. We do recognize the dangers of consuming too much salt. Hypertension is a deadly disease that affects too many Jamaicans, and we want to play our part in sensitizing citizens and communities of the risk and to encourage healthy lifestyles, she said. Leverage added that the libraries are open and the staff is available to assist anyone needing more information. We have adopted to serving our community during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our libraries are open and COVID-19 protocols are strictly enforced. Readers are welcome, she added. The events will be streamed live on the Jamaica Library Service YouTube channel at Jamaica Library Service brand daily. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.